Oh, I feel for my brother. Feel for my brother. You know, a lot of my brothers are dead or gone, but they've been hanging on the block a little too long. What can I say? I hope they live to see a brighter day.
One more game. Both shot.
And the ones that are doing
What up?
Alright, welcome back. Episode 3.
What up? Thanks for joining us again.
We have a special guest with us this week. Goes by the name of Douglas.
Douglas. Doug Moore.
I've known him probably since I was 9 years old, give or take. Maybe earlier, I don't know. But
We lad.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you having me. It was. I'll tell you one of the things when you said you were making food, I got to tell you what Cody did. I got to tell you, this was amazing. He made this tri-tip beef, right? And you have to cook this just right. As I pulled up, I saw the grill at the front of the garage. It looks like a little house. It's got a little chimney on it. I could smell it. I knew something was cooking good. I walked in, there was this amazing spread, right? And I'm a food connoisseur, or maybe I'm a food connoisseur, but it was really, really good. Everything was laid out nice. It was excellent. We had a great meal, and I'm a little tired now. So, thanks for having me.
appreciate it. That was a great intro.
Glad to be here.
Introduce you like
It's good to have our first guest.
First guest. I think I was 9 when the first time I met you. I remember my mom had you over, and I was coming in the kitchen. You were like, "Oh, I heard you draw." I'm like, "Yeah, I draw." And he showed me what like abstract art was. I didn't know what it was at the time. He was like, "You draw a line," so I would like draw a line, and then you would draw a line, and then like.
I do remember that. That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
I barely remember that.
Yeah.
Slept since then?
Yeah, I've slept since
I'm
then.
like, this dude sells cars or something. Like, this dude looks like a car salesman. I don't know.
I did.
Did
Yeah, I was
you?
a car salesman back then. Yep. That was a long time ago.
And then, just known you ever since, really.
Yep.
When was that? I didn't talk to you for a long time, and then...
When you got back from Florida, we hooked up for a couple times. Yep.
Well, most people know that I was in rehab, drug rehab and stuff, so I lived in Florida for a while with that, and then...
What year was that?
2017.
17, yeah.
Yeah. And then,
I think I was in South Carolina at the time.
Doug himself was in recovery too. We were both in recovery, and we linked up and went to a meeting, and then
Nice.
Yep.
I didn't
I
know
think
that.
after
That's
that
awesome.
for a while I didn't really see him after that. But then at my work, I'm a first responder at my work, and we had a man down call. It was when somebody like hurts themselves, crushes their arm, or passes out, or
Accident at work.
decapitates themselves. Yeah, so when you're first responders, well, we had like a siren go off, and I responded to it, and I think it was just some kid that smoked too much spice, or he was high or something. He was like lightheaded.
Spice?
He was
Yikes,
like
dude.
passing out, like lightheaded. I think
Yeah,
it
the
was
gas station high.
too high.
Yeah, that was that tunage, you know.
Yeah, hey, man, stop
That was
at
that
the
K9.
time.
That was that K9. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That K2. You know.
I can't believe they just sold that stuff at gas station.
It was like potpourri or something. That
Yeah.
I'll tell you, there's a bunch of neurotoxins in that stuff. You can tell when somebody's been smoking that. I think nowadays they just put that stuff like they must like open up a bottle of Raid or something and put it in a plastic bag, spray it down. You know, some rhinoceros tranquilizer just to top it off. You know, and yeah, it's bad news stuff right there. Yep, deadly stuff.
Well, after the man down call, after that was all done, I'm walking back to my little golf cart shop pit car thing or whatever, and I look over, and you know when like you see somebody where you're not really supposed to see somebody, or you don't expect to see him, and like you're like, wait a second.
Like when you think you're drinking water and it's Sprite or something.
Yeah, like you see somebody, you're like, wait a minute, I know him. When I look over and he's over there running a machine, he didn't see me, and then I went up to him and said, hey. It's kind of like, what are you doing here type.
Well, you had that big mustache going. You had that.
Yeah. Like a cop mustache, and then.
He had that porn stash going on. It was this big caterpillar on his lip.
Third eyebrow?
It wasn't trimmed back or nothing.
No, I let myself go there for a while.
His mullet was really long.
Oh yeah, it was almost where yours is at.
feel like it was longer than this, was it not?
No, ain't no way, dude. That's that Randy. That's that Randy Johnson, dude. Look at it, man. Yeah.
Said this is almost September. Will be 2 years
Now you cut it.
Since you've cut it?
since I started growing it out. Yeah, I've had one trim. I really need to get it trimmed. There's kind of the ends are a little questionable.
Yeah, it's hard rocking that Jesus fro. You
What do
know,
you use, like mane and tail, or
mane and tail.
Head and shoulders, dude.
Head and shoulders?
Yeah. I don't know. I've learned a lot about hair since trying to grow it out and take care of it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know you're not supposed to shampoo it every time you take a shower unless it's dirty, or you can mess with your natural oils on your scalp.
I didn't know that.
I didn't either. Had no idea. But I've always had really bad dandruff, so every time I'm taking a shower, I got to use the Head and Shoulders to keep my shoulders clean when my head's gonna be on it.
Yep.
So I don't know. It's different. I use conditioner a lot now.
Try some of that coconut oil. I heard that's good for everything.
Thought about it. I can eat it by the spoonful at this point because it's a big part of his diet I did for a while, and I'm down to do it. But I think I would have to put it in my hair and lay a towel down or something before I go to bed because that would just make a mess and stuff.
Cody was just talking earlier about a toothache. You can cure a toothache with coconut oil. It's good for everything.
Yeah, it's very
good for everything.
Antibacterial. You can put it on ringworm and stuff, and it'll kill that. Well, it's not like a miracle, but
for a while, I wasn't really taking care of my mouth for a while. And I had an abscessed tooth that broke off and just be a bad infection. And I would just when I would make coffee or tea in the morning, I would just put a scoop of coconut oil. And the infection would be gone in a day. But I mean.
Yeah, I'm not real big on witchcraft medicine. I kind of I go to my doctor. He's here's some amoxicillin, some penicillin. I usually go for the big three.
No rat's tails.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was probably somebody that works Big Pharma or something. Obviously, was coconut's poisonous for you and it's bad for you. I don't know about that.
Don't eat coconuts or coconut oil. Take an OxyContin.
Yeah, because that's much better for you.
Get some D's.
You just can't.
Yeah.
You just can't have those little Hostess snowballs without coconut, though, right? You got to have coconut on them.
So what is it? Almond Joy?
Almond Joy, yeah. Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't.
What's the other one? Mounds?
Mounds, yeah.
Now what's that? Them coconut Girl Scout cookies with the caramel.
Oh, the caramel.
Caramel Delights, yeah, those are
Yes.
good. Those are good.
Those are my favorite ones.
I mean, I don't know. I'm a Thin Mint guy. I'll grab a sleeve of Thin Mints, throw them in the freezer, bust them out with some coffee.
What?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
That sounds like a good nightcap.
Yeah, it is.
Before bed.
It is.
I think it's that warm. I think it's the warmth in my belly. It just makes me sleepy. I can go to bed on it.
Yeah.
I can drink a Red Bull go to bed, really. But.
Oh yeah. So can I.
Not me. I've done some of the Monsters and stuff where Red Bull and even the Bangs. One of my favorite Bangs, and it's great to say, "Hey, do you want a bang?"
Want a bang?
Yeah, you want a bang? Yes, I would like the Rainbow Unicorn Bang. It just makes me feel makes me feel like a man.
The birthday cake one?
Birthday cake, Rainbow Unicorn, Apple Crisp. They're all good though. They're all really good. All the Bangs are good, and it doesn't give me that real high anxiety like the Monster does. The Monster, I think that's the taurine in it or something like that.
Every time I get an energy drink, I have to get the sugar-free ones.
Yeah,
because the sugar is just sugar alongside the caffeine. It's just too much.
Yeah,
makes my stomach hurt and stuff. Plus, I think the sugar-free ones taste better.
Yeah, they do. They do. I like them. I like the what is it? The Red Bull sugar-free. You know, but since I don't drink anymore, what was that? Jägermeister and Red Bull, and I developed a flavor for that, and so then there's nothing like NyQuil and Red Bull. It's just such a lovely flavor to have together. Black licorice, yeah, NyQuil, yeah, it's good.
I think the grossness of it is what draws people to it for some reason.
Right.
Somehow, because nobody eats black licorice Twizzlers.
I know, right? Yeah, like if you've ever puked on Zambuca, and it's just or Ruppelmans,
man.
like you just can't even stand the thought of it.
It's like SoCo.
Southern Comfort. That's what is it? Caramel flavored.
Something
Basically,
flavored
yeah. Yeah, we drank too much of that
Yeah.
when we were that age.
That age where you could sneak into your grandfather's liquor cabinet and get out the Southern Comfort. I don't. Yeah, I don't. Well, I don't know. No, now Seagram 7 is different. That's something that you could like order when you were like 19 or 20 with your fake ID.
Yeah.
But Southern Comfort was not really one of those that you picked. You know, I mean.
That's not one that younger guys.
Right. It wasn't.
gravitate
Right.
towards,
Right. It wasn't like, hey, I'd like a Southern Comfort and 7, or give me ginger ale because I just think it goes better with it. You know? Yeah. Are you 21 or 50? Yeah. I'd like a martini, shaken, not stirred. No, it's not a fake. No, it's not a fake ID. So true, right?
I
Like,
was with beer for a while. Like beer was disgusting.
Did you ever sneak into like a bar or any clubs before you were 21 with a fake ID, or without, just try to get in?
Well, when we went to Kilroy, was it Kilroy's?
wow,
place
that.
in Indy?
Oh, Kilroy's. I'd never
was-
been.
Some college party town. There was a college.
I think it was
nearby.
in
Is it
Bloomington.
IU or something?
It was at IE. I don't know if the place was called Kilroy's or what, but and I used some dude that's like 6'6", 320 pounds, and I'm like 20 at the time.
Dude, I remember that.
With a baby face, and this dude looks at me, looks at the ID, he's like, here you go. And I'm like, I would have been mad because we drove 3.5 hours to go to this place. I would have been mad if I wouldn't have been able to get in. But when we went to that place, what was it, Tilted Kill, for...
Oh, for the strippers in training. That was like strippers in training. They had these little outfits on, and yeah, I know.
There was like a bike, like a motorcycle
Yeah, I do remember
fundraiser
that.
thing for, I think, Bree. And
Weren't we hanging out with the bartender and he like made us like his
name
special
was like
drink?
Johnny. I was trying to think of his
Johnny something, yeah.
Johnny Sockham.
Johnny Sacco.
Johnny Sockham.
I think that was the name of the drink.
Yeah. And
Yeah, because we made them at house parties after that.
we were like 19, and they're bringing us. We had our own table with nothing but like 19 and 18-year-olds. They're just bringing us drinks after drinks. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, I got to help
Some stuff with, like,
one of the waitresses at Tilted Kilt. Her dad brought her car in to have it detailed, and so we're there. I mean, there's so much shit in this car. I mean, there's like there's like panties. There's like bras, there's like change of clothes, shorts, tennis shoes, all this shit. And I go, look, my guys have to detail around this, so let's get some bags. So I went and grabbed some hefty bags, and we're just bagging up all this crap, and we're putting it in her trunk. And then there's a pregnancy test kit, and her father and I are picking up all this stuff, and I tried to grab for it, and he said, what's that? And he took it out of my hands. I said, I'm sure it's not hers. I'm sure. She was just holding on to this for a friend. It was so embarrassing. So, you know, I mean, there's just, yeah, they were all just strippers in training, in my opinion.
Man, that would be kind of awkward, I guess. You're just scoot some stuff over while you're trying to get in.
Yeah.
I can't imagine your dad going through. Yeah, that would be embarrassing.
That's tough.
But I mean, who else is going to change your oil? Because
I mean,
right, while you're learning how to take care.
Pregnancy test from your dad, don't give him your car to take it.
Well, it's because he was paying for it.
Tracks.
No, he was paying for it, so you know, like she wasn't going to pay to have it done.
Yeah, throw that away at the gas station.
He was probably like, God, your car is disgusting. Like, let me just buy you a detail. Well, I don't know when I'm going to have it done. Well, just give me your keys. Okay. I had
Probably pretty close to what happened.
yeah.
I guess I would probably rather find a pregnancy test than a Plan B box, personally.
I mean, so one is just like 48 hours later, you know. It's like,
And the other one is
well, no, I mean like you're all in the same thing. Yeah, somebody's banging your daughter. Yeah, I get it. Thanks for sharing. You know, appreciate it.
I wanted that visual.
My daughter's 22, and when she got married, and I started to see her husband posting stuff like baby girl. You know, he calls her baby girl. I'm like, no. That's my baby girl.
Yeah.
I call her baby girl. Like, but I never really said anything to him about it. You know, it was just one of those. Yeah, it was just one of those things where you have to like.
Is he bigger than you?
He is.
Okay.
He is. I mean, you know, we could still go. I ain't scared. That's my girl. You know what I'm saying? We'll go. You know, I'll go through hell for that one. You know, but you know, I'm just saying. You know, it might be embarrassing.
Is
you
he
know,
a good guy, at least?
he's a really good guy. No, he's a really good guy. Yep. He takes really good care of her, and she takes good care of him. And yeah, they have a nice little family going. She's pregnant again. I'm gonna have a granddaughter here in like another 5 months.
So now you really are the old man in the kitchen.
I am the old man. I keep on getting older and older, you know. I keep on getting older and older.
Old granddad.
Yep. Old granddad. That was another one. When would you go to? Give me some of that old granddad with the Coke back, please. You know.
Orange lady.
Yeah. That was terrible. Boy, I think the worst thing was like Boone's Farm and like Mad Dog 2020.
Oh.
That was some painful stuff the next day. That stuff was terrible. I mean,
we didn't get a half gallon for like $12.
Yeah, right.
I feel too
What
good.
was that stuff? UV blue?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of similar to that stuff.
That's like typical high school kind of drink though.
No, I think high school would be like what? Give me some peppermint schnapps or some peach schnapps.
Whatever we could get.
Whatever you could get, yeah.
Uncle Bernie's.
Wait to pay the guy before he goes to the liquor store. Give him an extra $10, thinking that he's going to bring your shit out to you, and then he just gets in his car and leaves. Like, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Hey, give me my booze back. Hey, you're 15. Shut the fuck up. You aren't getting your money back.
Yep. The first time I ever got drunk, I was in 5th grade.
Holy crap.
Yeah, we lived in Arizona, and we lived with my cousin at the time. He was drinking. He was like, "Oh, it's a screwdriver, which is orange juice and vodka."
Yeah.
He's like, "Go pour yourself some." So I'm pour a big old like amount in this cup and some orange juice, and I thought it was cool because I was like hanging out with him. And I drank it, and I remember,
Can you imagine telling that to a 5th grader?
dude, that's crazy. And I remember like sitting in front of the toilet like I was about to throw up. And I just felt it, and then I ended up going and sitting on the couch, and I like passed out like this.
Of course.
Fell asleep like that.
Of course.
And I didn't really think about it at the time. I'm like, 5th grade. Like, now that I look at it, I'm like, dude, what was I, like 10?
Right.
11? Maybe?
Yeah, 10 or 11.
Yeah, it's wild.
I mean, I was 6. First time I drank, my mother and aunt opened a bottle of wine, and then they left the room, and so, which was always a mistake. Can't stop it. And then, but like I really don't think that the effects of alcohol are understood at that age. You might feel it, and you might feel different, and you might feel dizzy, and you might feel chatty and giggly,
yeah.
but to really like get that drunkenness, and then when we were 12, right, that same age, and I remember being in my basement, in my grandfather's basement, drinking the Southern Comfort that tasted terrible, and then trying to, and after my grandmother's spaghetti, and then we're just puking everywhere, spaghetti everywhere. It's like a barfarama. And, and then, of course, they knew, like, I was a bad kid. I mean, like, if I went upstairs and said, "Oh, I got sick," they knew we were down there drinking. So I sent my cousin.
Is that angel hair pasta?
I sent my cousin Andy. Yeah, that would be bad. I sent my cousin Andy upstairs to say that he was the one that got sick. So then he had to sit there with his hand on his gut and go, "Yeah, I just don't feel that good." And they must have known that we were all just drunk as like monkeys down there throwing up. It's always a good time.
Yeah, of course they probably knew, right? Would you know?
Of course.
Kids would know. Kids would
Yeah,
know.
like how could you not know?
Yeah.
You
Down there
know.
with it. Oh, I know where.
Yeah.
I know where it's at.
Yeah.
Especially they probably checked before after you guys were down there and like looked at the amount in the bottle or like.
Maybe sometimes. I don't know. Some
Yeah.
people are pretty clueless. They're like,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably true. I think when I used to smoke pot, my parents would say they'd not know that I was high, even though I was like eating like a freight train, just going through a bunch of I'm just sleepy or whatever. And then when you were normal, and you're acting up or acting out, and then they'd be like, "Are you high?" It's like, not right now. I'm not nearly this focused. I mean, there's still days where I'll be at work and I'll say something like, "Okay, guys, go do this or go do that," bark out some orders, and they'll go, "Well, hold on a minute. Why don't we do it this way?" And I'm not a terrible boss. I'm willing to listen to them and consider what they have to contribute. And at that point, it's like, okay, sure, let's do it that way. And I got this one guy, he's so sarcastic, and he's like, "I want some of what you're smoking." And I'm like, dude, you can't get this way on one use. Like, this takes years and years of abuse to get this bad. You have to kill a lot of brain cells to be where I'm at.
He wouldn't even understand that part right over his head.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
I'm telling you.
Oh man.
No, you don't. You don't.
you don't understand. You just, think you do.
You don't.
Yep. You just think you do. But, that's been the prize of recovery, is that you don't have to stay in that place. You don't have to stay in that brain damaged place. I still make mistakes. Actually, I do kind of miss, the fact that you could use that as an excuse, right? Like, why'd you do that? That was so stupid. Well, I was wasted, and now it's like, why'd you do that? That was so stupid. I guess I'm just stupid now, It's, I don't have an excuse anymore, so. But
I think a lot too is when like you're in that mindset and you're like, oh, I was just high or something, and then like, yeah, like you said, you think you're swindling everybody, but like now like when you're sober and you're like, oh, I'm just smart, and like really you're not. Like I start seeing it like I'm not as smart as I thought I was. Like I don't know, it gives you that. It's like a confidence mask kind of you would be using.
yeah. Yeah, that fractured ego from, if ego is manufactured self, which there's a bunch of definitions of ego, but if it's something I manufacture within myself to get along in society, to protect what I value, and then I take those same dynamics and I start stripping that away. I want to find out who I really am and what I really stand for and what I'm about and what kind of purpose my life has. And so, in taking apart that manufactured self, all of a sudden it's like, wow, this doesn't work. This manufactured ego just doesn't work. I'm not that smart. I'm not, that intelligent. I'm not that good looking. Well, I mean, 1 out of 3. Give me 1 out of 3. No. Damn it happened again. I woke up better looking than when I went to sleep. But, as you go through those things, you start to realize that's not what works. My authentic self is what works with other people. It's what works in society. It's what gives me that identification of who I am. And so then, right, you just process that out and try not to let the old man come out too much,
I think it goes back
previous
to what
self.
we were talking about before we got on the mics, like signature smells.
Yes. Yep.
Everybody, if you
The colognes.
you like, yeah. And your ego just attaches to it.
Yep.
Just adds another layer.
That's what you smell like, That's what you smell like.
Yeah,
that's you.
That's Douglas.
That's what you smell like.
I'm still trying to figure that out. I got a couple that I like, but
If you get I started looking into different colognes and stuff, and they'll even get into this is a warmer smelling scent, and you wear this at this time of year, and I was like, oh, okay, I think I'm out of this. I'm not gonna go that deep with smells. I spend too much money on enough crap.
Yeah. Well, and I suppose also you pick a cologne, you go with it, right? You have to roll with it, and that way when people come up to you, they go, oh my God, you always smell so good. And it's only certain people because smells affect people differently.
Yeah, they like it.
Yeah, they may love it. They may like, oh my God, you smell so good. I remember getting when it first came out. It was a Ralph Lauren Safari, and I got the men's Safari, and I was walking through the mall, and I had just sprayed some on, and this woman grabbed me by my coat, and she pulled me into her and smelled deeply and went, God, you smell so good. I was like, I'm wearing this motherfucker every chance I get, because of one person. And maybe everybody else hated it, but she liked it, and I don't even know who she was.
Yeah, that's because you're unsure about it when you first put it on. It seemed like, I wonder if this is going to smell good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then you get immediate confirmation.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
It smells grab me good.
Yes. It's called Come to Me. Does it smell like Come to You?
I learned too is you can't skimp on cologne. Don't buy the cheap cologne. I used to get my cologne from Burlington. I don't know, the bottles that were in the truck sitting in Texas in
Yeah.
20-degree weather.
Right.
Yeah. It's a good place to start, though.
Cologne's expensive. Like,
Yeah.
and now I'm like, well, I just need to bite the bullet and buy good cologne. 'Cause, I mean, it smells a lot better than Bod.
You can get away with like 1 or 2 spritzes of good stuff too, and it'll be enough.
Sticks
It'll
with you
last-
better.
It'll last a while too. So I mean, depending.
That cheap cologne, you like spray it, and then like a couple hours later, it just smells like sugar. It doesn't even like smell
Sugar.
It. It's
Right.
like, it doesn't even like
Put some
have
Kool-Aid
like, yeah. Like, I don't know.
Kool-Aid. That's there's another one, right? That's a new hair color. That Hawaiian blue.
Oh man.
Did you go get your hair done? No, it's just Kool-Aid. Oh, okay, cool.
Did you see when not that long ago people were putting Gorilla Glue in their hair?
Gorilla Glue.
Yeah.
Girl, did you see that?
Uh-uh.
Oh, pull it up. Yeah,
What
this
would it
girl,
be
I
on
think.
it? Here, let me.
Oh, you can just Gorilla Glue girl hair or something.
Yeah, right.
She ran out of product like hairspray, and she was like laying her edges or her hair down or something, and sprayed Gorilla Glue spray for hairspray.
Well, there is a hair gel called Gorilla Glue.
Really?
Yeah, it's something cheap. I think I've seen it at like
That one right there.
Family Dollar or something like that.
And she's like tapping it, and it sounds like it's bad. I mean, people like she got like a lot of money from it. Like people donated to her, so like
Oh, because her hair fell out?
people think like she did it for like fame and money, but I mean, who knows? I wouldn't do that to my hair for.
Well, how much?
That's yeah.
I mean, how much are we talking?
Okay, you're right.
Everybody has a price,
You're right.
you know?
Everything's for sale.
Yeah, everything's for sale.
Uh-oh. Hold on.
She laid them edges down, boy.
Let me
Them things are shiny.
let me get this put on these speakers here.
I'ma just let y'all watch. Hey y'all. For those of y'all that know me know my hair has been like this for about a month now. It's not by choice. No. It's not by choice. When I do my hair, I like to, finish it off with the little Got to Be glue spray. Just to keep it in place. Well, I didn't have any more Got to Be glue spray, so I used this. Gorilla Glue spray. Bad idea. Y'all, look. My hair, it don't move. You hear what I'm telling you? It don't move. I've washed my hair 15 times. And it don't move. Stiff wear.
Man, she's lazy.
Woo! My hair. So I'm gonna tell y'all like this. If you ever run out of Got to Be glue spray, don't ever use this. Unless you want your hair to be like that.
Got a rattle
That
ball
is
on it.
not for real. Come
Oh
on.
yeah.
Yeah, she had to go get surgery. I don't know if we want to show it, but
Yeah. Had
Yeah,
to
no,
rub
let's-
acetone on her head, like
Wow.
yeah. Name a price.
can't fix it, man.
I didn't know how dry your hair would be after that.
I don't know. Like, I would just think it would burn. Like when you put it in your hair,
She said
get
she
some
had
in
it
your
for
eyes.
over a month.
Yeah, over a month. Come on now.
This hair don't move.
It was kinda like, it would start like ingrowing on itself or whatever. Like, how that works. I don't know.
Oh, it probably would.
Yeah, it's the skin reproduction and the.
Hair's trying to grow.
Yeah. Oh, that's wild. There was something else. Ooh. I seen earlier. Now. I don't remember exactly what it was.
What are you looking up there? Looking up some news,
Yeah, I seen something.
current events.
You see where Jeff Bezos is going to be the first person to go on that like spaceship or whatever.
No, like
They're gonna going. Okay, Jeff Bezos is going to space on Blue Origin's first crewed rocket ship. I don't even know what that is.
So is this like the Elon Musk stuff and the?
is he giving people like space joyrides? You can just take a space ride
I
and
think
come
that's
back.
what that was about. Is like there's gonna be like a spaceship that's gonna like
Take civilians to space and
yeah
come
just
back.
for fun. Like so you go I went to space.
I don't know about just for fun. I think there's some cost involved.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, I don't
wouldn't
think
be
you
able
can
to
get on
afford
Expedia and get a space station.
Right. Yeah. You guys want to plan like a weekend trip?
Let's go to space.
Yeah,
That would be cool.
that would be pretty insane.
You might die.
Yeah, he even said that. Elon Musk had stated that people are going to die.
Yeah.
And I think that that's about, what the acceptable losses is, what the percentage of human fatality. It seems like everybody gets wrapped up in how many, how many people have died. How many people die from that? How many people died from COVID? How many people die from heart failure? How many people die from automobile accidents and drug use and overdose and we start to look at abortions, whatever, like how many people are going to die? What is the human loss? And I don't think the earth is pretty populated. We're the largest nest of humans that I know of in the universe. Of course, I've never traveled anywhere else. It's the only place I've been. But it would appear to be that there's plenty of us, and they're still making more every day. So, it's like I think that the individual's life is important, and I think that our lives are important to us, as the lives of other people are important to us, that affect us, that are in our circle, that are in our family, that come close to us.
Sure.
But at the same time, it's like, am I really that concerned with other people's lives, people I've never met, just for the sake of being alive, just for the life factor? I might claim that,
Like you can, this is just what came to mind. Like when Haiti gets rocked with another hurricane,
right?
And you see all the wrecked people's houses are just rubble. You might see a dead body on the news, and you're like, dang, that's crazy. That's really sad. But you don't cry like somebody you know died.
Right.
It's a weird thing.
Well, it's just like this. What is it, like the Middle East and the Slavic region, or where there's been war for how long now? It's just every day. People get blown up and killed, and it's just normal.
That's happening in 2021.
Yeah.
Right.
And people are just used to it. It's crazy.
I remember going to the library one day, and I picked up a European newspaper, and I was thinking, it showed this voting poll wherever it was. It could have been in Africa somewhere, and it showed this voting poll where they were trying to have some sort of democratic election, and there was 200 body bags outside of this voting poll. Now, when I go and vote, it's over on Harrison Street, over at the Lutheran Church,
Okay.
and that's my voting poll. That's where I'm registered to go vote at, unless I do it online or something like that. But I just can't imagine going up to the voting poll and being like, okay, well, let's see those 200 body bags. That was from the way they voted, so be careful what you choose, or whatever. To send a message. And so we don't get that kind of news reported in America that often, right? That's not stuff that happens here. But there is show of force, intimidation, terrorism. We got all kinds of stuff here in the United States that maybe it just doesn't make mainstream media. Maybe we don't hear about it. Maybe it's something that is being covered up. And this is where I really get a kick out of the corona shots. Everything from, boy, my 5G network works so good on my phone since I've had both shots. And, I don't know, is this where I say that I worship the devil, and that way I can use the credit card that they implanted in my forehead or palm, and right. And I'm gonna get a credit card. That's awesome. You obviously haven't seen my credit bureau.
I can already pay. You can already pay with your phone.
Yeah, the smart
I
apps.
just double click it and it shows my card and everything.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Wow.
Look, my score's a 580. They ain't giving me no credit card.
I ain't gonna get the mark of the beast. They'll be like, no, we don't want you. It says to buy, sell, or trade, and you can't buy shit. Okay.
That's juice or something, and you scan your wrist, and it's just like, you need to go to work.
Yeah, that's how I'm gonna escape the apocalypse. I'll just have bad credits.
Was there anything crazy like that when you were growing up? Because you said, when was your heyday? Like the late '80s, early '90s, like when you were really running?
You mean like the parts that I don't remember?
No, like when you were...
Like, that means you had a really good time, right? If you went out and partied and woke up the next day and had no idea what happened, I think they call it a blackout. It's like, that just means you had a real good time, you know?
Hopefully.
Like,
Yeah.
Hopefully you got both socks on.
Yeah.
What was it like? I mean, obviously, if you're like that, you're not really worried about anything. But like, what were like people worried about back then? Like,
I think that I would have to say that the party really started in 1987, and I moved to Raleigh, North Carolina, in the NC State area, and there was keg parties.
how old were you?
I was 18, and there was keg parties galore. I remember going to one keg party where we were doing beer bongs, and the guy was sitting there pouring Yukon Jack into the top of the beer bong after he filled it, and I was just sucking it down. And that was the closest I think I've ever come to like killing myself with alcohol. You know, I had alcohol poisoning so bad, I went home, threw up, and like laid on the bathroom floor for like 3 days. It was just really, I was in bad shape, and I had no idea. Right, I was a kid, just really getting drunk, having a great time, and
a couple girls around.
Yeah, and they were like pouring the Yukon Jack down into the top of the beer bong while I was sucking down this 2 or 3 beers at a time. I was sick. But I mean, I had a really great time in North Carolina. I think that I ended up working in a nightclub. I got that kind of like notoriety because I worked at the best bar in town, kind of thing. And I'd go out to other bars even though I wasn't 21 because I was working at the nightclub, And so that was where I had I didn't have a care in the world. I was just having a great time. And
man, that's back
and
when
it just
rock music was
yeah.
its peak, wasn't it?
Well,
Tesla.
Yeah.
The Rock Valley.
Tesla's awesome, dude.
I don't know. There was a lot of emerging groups like REM.
Was Motley Crue done by then?
Motley Crue. No, I mean Def Leppard they were just coming out with Hysteria. I think that I don't remember if the drummer had already lost his arm by then. There was a lot of good music. I was introduced to Michael Jackson, Bad, and then Pink Floyd. I was really starting to get into Pink Floyd. Of course, I was starting to do a little bit of acid too. So LSD trips always and make Pink Floyd better.
Yeah, I think when you buy acid, you just get Pink Floyd.
Yeah, they automatically get you. Yeah, give me that Dark Side of the Moon cassette. Look, if you lick the album cover, there is some LSD in the album.
Their album cover is actually a pad.
But no, I mean the things that were a big concern were AIDS. That had started in the 80s. And Nancy Reagan was doing her Just Say No to Drugs. I never said no to drugs. I always said yes, and can I get a front?
You say a drug test? I'm down to test all the drugs.
I mean, you're my friend. You wouldn't give me something that's bad for me, obviously. But I don't think that I was that politically aware of what was going on in the world. It's more about go out, party, have fun, have a good time. So I really couldn't even tell you any current events at the time. I mean, you could Google that shit, what were some of the hot topics back in 1990?
I guess you were 18. If I look back and think of how politically aware and how aware I was with stuff going on, I really wasn't, because I was worried about the same thing, partying. Who are we chilling with tonight, or whose house are we going to be hanging at?
Yeah, exactly. And even though your one buddy only has a bottle of triple sec, that'll work, right?
Oh, yeah.
We'll give that a try.
The Simpsons first appeared in 1987.
Bart Simpson.
Fiji becomes a republic. Boring.
What year did you try?
Ferry capsized. I just typed 1987.
There wasn't a lot. There was a bunch of dumb shit. Try 1990.
90.
There's probably like a lot of people though, in like the 80s. They're like, I mean, I think that was
Let's
just
do,
in the times. Because I mean,
your
now
website.
all of our parents were running in the 80s, so it's like
Hubble Space Telescope.
who remembers
1990. Wow.
That was a big deal.
Wow. That's still up there, and people still use those pictures all the time. The most complete skeleton of a T-Rex was found in South Dakota, of all places. Give South
Named
Dakota
Sue.
a shout out.
Susan, the T-Rex.
Nelson Mandela released from prison and becomes leader of African National Congress.
There goes back
Ties
up
into
there.
episode 2.
Yeah. Mandela effect.
Wow. NASA launches another probe. Big year for space.
Oh yeah. Berlin
Demolition
Wall.
of Berlin Wall officially begins. Wow. 1990 was popping.
That was like after the Bay of Pigs and all that, wasn't it? Or like was that earlier on?
No, that was way back. That was
What am I thinking of? Thinking of the Cold War.
1960s.
Okay, I'm thinking of the Cold War then. Yep. Back when the internet came out.
Windows 3.0 came out. First known case of AIDS is traced back to 1959. In 1990, apparently. Just talking about AIDS.
Yeah, that was
Crazy what's popped up.
that was like
I guess not.
now everything's treatable.
Yeah, Magic Johnson's doing well, right?
Right? I mean, it's not just about being a celebrity, but I think that they went from calling STDs to instead of calling them diseases, sexually transmitted diseases, they became STIs, sexually transmitted infections.
Okay.
And why? Because we don't want them to have a bad name, right? Like
Sure.
you got to, everything gets politically correct, everything gets okay. Everything, we don't want to offend anybody, any of these little snowflakes that are like, I can't stand punctuation in text messages, it offends me. Well, fuck you. I mean, there's just this point where it's like, I want to be understanding, I want to be sensitive, I want to be compassionate, I want to be, aware. But at the same time, it's like, sometimes you just gotta be able to say the truth. Yeah, toughen up a little bit, right?
Yeah, in order to speak the truth, you have to risk being offensive.
Right.
Otherwise, what are we doing?
I mean, that's why I love cursing. I feel like sometimes Shucky Darns just doesn't get it. Like,
but also, it's all within the intent behind it. Like, somebody could scare the hell out of you without cursing once. Maybe replace the words with non-curse words. You'll get the same feeling. It doesn't matter what the fucking word is.
right, depending on what the intent.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I just try not to curse now because it's like people watch and like I don't know. I just don't want to like. I mean, don't get me wrong. I slip up sometimes, but I try to like be aware of what I'm saying, just so like I don't know. I just think it's respectful to some people. And, I mean, I'm not mad at anybody who curses or anything, but I just try to keep aware of. I don't know. Somebody's watching or something. Grandma's around.
Kids around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Of course.
Well, that brings up a good point that even though I'm never going to achieve that perfection, I should at least strive towards it. I should at least strive towards being a better person, being a more moral person. I've sure spent my time working the other direction. Like how bad can I be? Like how bad can you be and still be alive? There's got to be a point, right? Because like what's the fear factor there? If I do this, I'm going to suffer. Really? Let's try it. Don't try this at home. I'm trying this as soon as I get home. What are you talking about? And so,
See how far you can push the limits.
yeah. See, let's see, like kind of like food. I mean, food has a date on it, right? This food is best by. There's a best by date, and then there's a use by date. I want to know what the date is. What's the last date possible that I can eat this and not die? What's that date look like? And so when you're always pushing the limits, right? Trying to find out what the limits are to something. Maybe you're curious, or maybe you're just one of us. You just need to find out how far you can take something. And And so then I have to be careful. I have to be careful of, like, am I testing my limits or am I testing somebody else's limits? Or I'm pushing somebody else in a direction that I don't feel like they should go. Like, here's a good example. Some folks come from a funeral, right? Much different mindset than some folks that just came from a baseball game, right? And you run into those same people that came from the baseball game and you tell some joke. I heard this joke today. It was like, you heard that, did you hear that they came up with a new antidepressant for lesbians? It was tricoxagen, and so you know, I mean, it was a funny joke. It was, I guess, you know, unless you just came from a funeral, you might not find it that funny, you know.
Sure.
If you're a lesbian, you might not find it that funny. I don't know, you know. I mean, I think that that there's just that place where you don't want to offend others, where you don't want to take others to, you know, that I'm not testing and pushing others, that even if I'm willing to push my own boundaries, you know, do I trust that I'll be okay? Do I trust that I'm not going to heck for saying hell? You know, whatever.
Yeah, if you're offended, are you being an asshole when you're offending someone, or are they just like...
Or are they just overly sensitive?
Right.
Or not in the right space to be messed with.
Sure.
There's times where I could be walking across the room and somebody say, you know, the other day some girl said, "Hey, Nicholas," and I said, "You just call me Dickless," and it was funny, you know, because it really sounded like Dickless. There was other people in the room. They go, "Did she just call you Dickless?" You know, and there may be a moment like that where it's not a big deal. I think it's funny, but then there may be some other moment where I might turn to him and go, "Hey, fuck you," you know, "How dare you talk to me that way?" Because I'm sensitive and I'm not suffering well at that moment, and it's all about me. Because I'm a selfish, self-centered prick, you know, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
I had an incident like that at Kroger recently. I don't know, probably a month or two ago. And I was just having one of them days, I guess. I don't know. I was trying to get in and out. And I don't like being in public anyway, but...
I have agoraphobia. I can't stand being in public.
I seen this guy with his wife, and, like, they're in the vegetable... I'm in the vegetable department or whatever. And he's just like, "Huh? What?" Like, just, like, yelling at her, kind of trying, like, embarrassing her. And I'm already irritated. I'm like, I don't like people like that. Just, like, disrespect their wives and stuff in public. Like, it doesn't even have to be in public, but especially in public.
So it's okay if you do it at home,
No,
but just not out in public.
I don't want to see it.
If nobody knows, then
Take
so...
that abuse back into the bedroom.
Yeah, so...
I'm boiling at this point. And I'm like, I'm one of them, like, passive. Like, it takes a while to, like, piss me off. And he ended up saying something like, "What?" Like, he yelled, and I turned around and I'm like, "Huh?" Like, and then he just, like, stops and looks, and we're looking at each other, and I just, like, walk away. And I'm like, "Bro, like, no." And we pass each other in the store later on, and we're in the chip aisle, and I'm walking in the middle.
Here's where it got serious by the Doritos.
Yeah. Was he holding a Twisted Tea?
And he's walking, and I'm like, I'm walking in a straight line. Like, I hope you touch me. I shouldn't even be like that, because, like, I'm not like that. But, like, it was just at that point where I was already pissed off, and, like, I hope this guy just doesn't move out of the way.
Yeah, you kind of get in that state where you're like, I'm pissed off. Like, I just want to get mad at everything.
And then, like, later
I
on,
even catch myself doing it sometimes.
Yeah, and I'm like, later on, I'm like, wow, like, I really got like that. Like, it's kind of embarrassing, but, like, I don't know. I just gotta, especially situations like that, I don't like people, like, acting like that in public, because, like, I don't want to hear it. I know the lady checking out the tomatoes don't want to hear it, bro.
Yeah, super embarrassed.
Nobody wants to hear that right now. Especially in the times that we're in, where it's like, everybody's just sick of everything anyway, so it's like, I don't know.
Yeah. Do you notice that it's really not about what you say, but the tone? Like you had mentioned earlier, you had said that, you know, you could express, like, a threat without saying the curse words, you know, like instead of saying, "I will fuck you up right now," you know, and really mean it, right?
Yeah.
Or you know, to just look at somebody and have a certain tone and be like, "I will hurt you," and they just know that they're going to be hurt by you, yeah. And you don't have to curse about it, but it's just about the tone. So then, if tone is what matters, right? Then it's the inflection, the pitch, the parameters. It's how I'm presenting what I'm saying, not even necessarily what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's like this guy with his food. We're like, dude, That meal was decent. And he's like, yeah, it was decent.
Right. No, that meal was off the chain. That was like clutch. That was like the best. That was the meat was perfect. I mean, it was perfect, and it was tender, and it just was melt in your mouth, and it was awesome. The queso dip was off the hook. It was really good, and so you put all this time and energy into preparing this awesome meal for us, and then you go, it was okay. It was decent.
It's not worthy of taking for lunch tomorrow.
Right. I wouldn't like pass it out or anything. I mean, it's not like here I made myself a peanut butter and jelly. Are you hungry? Oh, you're a hungry guy. Here's a peanut butter and jelly for you too.
At least Theo will have delicious steak tacos since you won't eat it.
Well, I gotta say, like, I do have recipes that like I'm confident in, but if it's like something that I don't make that often, I'm like kind of skeptical about it because most people won't tell you like, oh, that was horrible,
dude.
You know what I mean? Like, obviously, like a lot of people are like, oh yeah, that was really good, and I choking on dry beef,
turning their plate upside down in the trash can.
People aren't gonna tell you your food sucks, so it's like,
no, I would so tell you.
I
would tell you. I would be like, dude, that was like, let me tell you how I can make it better.
Yeah. So it's like the way my mind is wired anyway, I automatically go to like the worst possible situation it could be. So it's like it was all right, but there's some stuff that I make I know it's good, so you don't even gotta tell me. You can be like, it's fine. I'm like, I know. It's my go-to. But no,
you know what you should make sometime is jalapeno jelly.
That's pretty good, like the bacon jalapeno jam stuff.
I don't know if I've had it with bacon, but it's like super sweet. It looks like jelly, but it's green, made out of jalapenos.
And then there's that fire kick. And that's why you have to like get out crackers, put some cream cheese, a little bit of the jalapeno jelly. Just make it like a little horse divorce. You know, I love them horse divorce. Give me some chipped beef and some cream cheese with some jalapenos anytime. You know, throw me a pickle in there or an onion. Shit,
an olive.
An olive, yeah.
Sick, dude.
Yeah, on a toothpick, maybe.
I'll tell you what, though. You go to it was the best quick hors d'oeuvres that I ever put together. You go to like Fresh Market, they have an olive cart, and on the olive cart you can get the pickled peppers. You can get the olive cart.
Cart of olives.
Cart of olives.
Okay.
And there's the big stuffed olives, and there's the ones with the pimentos and the blue cheese and just all this kind of stuff. And I just found myself buying some breads, buying, a $25 tray of olives, and then mixing in some of the stuff they got there. And for like $60, I like filled a table, full of hors d'oeuvres. And it just was, it was elegant, it looked good, and it wasn't that expensive, and I thought this was nice, and that's the nice thing about olives is that people either love them or hate them, but I'll try one, I'm not a huge olive fan, but I'll try one, so yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, then you have these nice little dainty trays, and everybody's not just piling through them like they would, the buffalo dip at a Super Bowl party, with
a meat and cheese cracker tray.
Yeah, meat and cheese cracker tray. I mean, I would.
Can't go wrong with those.
You really can't.
Those little turkey and ham circles.
Oh, the summer sausage, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Summer sausage.
Oh, turkey and ham circle. What you're talking about is you're talking about a Lunchable. You're talking about the adult Lunchables. Yes.
The white wine crackers.
Dude.
I was doing that for a while. I make myself an adult Lunchable. Get some of that fajita meat it's like pre-made in the chicken, chicken or beef, in the bags at Walmart, and then get you some grapes, some cheese squares or cubes, and then you get those pre-packaged lunch trays. They got 3 containers inside of them with a lid,
right.
And you can make yourself, I mean, for like $4 a piece, you spend $25 worth of groceries, you could bring yourself 5 adult Lunchables every day and have plenty, man. You share with your friends, hey, have some of this. You eat a lot better. It's a lot better than eating out of a vending machine or some of the fast food.
A lot smaller portions, too.
What's that?
Smaller portions.
No, bigger. No, larger, because you get to put them together yourself. Those Lunchables,
Yeah, right.
those Lunchables are those little peel off. You know, you got like 3 pieces of turkey, a Butterfinger, 6 crackers. The cheese never matches up to the meat, never matches up to the amount of crackers you got because when the crackers breaks, then you kind of mash it together with another piece. You're not sure what to do with the extra piece. You just stick 2 pieces of turkey in your mouth. You're like, fuck it, I'm just gonna eat it till it's gone. You know, maybe I should get 2 of them, maybe 3, and you do that at the gas station. That's like $3 a piece. That's like $9 for lunch. Shit, I could have gone and gotten a big Subway sub sandwich and some chips for $9. You
And
know.
at work we have these little convenience.
Yeah,
store
some
things.
jalapenos with chip jelly.
Well, you've seen them, the little convenience store things,
Oh yeah, at work. Yeah.
and they have like Lunchables in there. Just a little 3 square one. It doesn't have like a crunch bar or anything. It's like $3.50 for a little lunch.
$3.50.
Yeah,
No Capri Sun.
no crunch bar, nothing.
What another great thing, right? Capri Sun, Go-Gurts,
Oh man.
kid food. You know what I tried? I'm going to tell you what I took my grandson to the park, and we got those Uncrustables. They're peanut butter and jellies.
So good.
Now, so good.
Yeah.
Like I wish I would have had these when I was smoking pot. I mean, like just what'd you do? I just smashed a 12-pack of Uncrustables and I'm good, you know. But it's like they're so soft, and you can do them with the strawberry or the grape, and you're supposed to eat them within about 10 hours after you thaw them out. So I got us each a couple apple juices that are like in the apple-shaped bottle. The Uncrustables, some of those dippies, those dippers that you get at the dollar store with the little thing of cheese and the little pretzels and little breadsticks. Yeah, and those things, like you can do a lot with kid snacks.
Oh yeah.
I mean, as an adult, I mean those Go-Gurts, like slice those open. You could eat one of those while you're driving. They're amazing. You know, you don't have to worry about like spilling or ending up with like a spoon floating around in your car for like 3 months. You know, and your significant other or roommates are like, dude, where's all the spoons going? Are you smoking crack again? It's like, no. I've just been taking those yogurts to work, and you're forgetting the spoons in your car. Yeah, those Yoplays, yeah. But I think that, and there's nothing wrong with eating like a 8-year-old, you know, or a 6-year-old or a 5-year-old. You just have to pack more the older you get. That's all.
There's nothing wrong with eating with like a 50 or 60-year-old either. Like when I lived with my grandma, she would make like, we call it depression food, but me and my brother call it depression food.
Eat
She would
liver
make
and
like
onions.
cabbage soup or like this stuff. It was like, you said chipped beef earlier, so it would be like chipped beef and gravy, and then she would make toast, and then
Depression food. You mean poor people food? That's what you're talking about.
like chipped beef and gravy over toast, and we ate it. It was bomb. I mean, it was good, but she made stuff like porcupines, which is just a giant meatball, and like goulash sauce. You know what goulash is? It was pretty good. It is, I guess, poor people food, but I mean, my grandpa was around back then, so I think those are some of his famous recipes, I guess. But
I don't really remember much of OG's like home cooking.
it was always just like frozen pizzas. or
Yeah, she had that little pizza cooker that would
pizza
spin.
pizzazz.
Dude, that thing was great,
It
man.
last, my brother still got one. Those things are around.
I'm gonna have to get one of those.
I'll tell you, when you say eating like poor people, my aunt had a really good recipe for that. You know, when the kids would say like, oh, I don't want to eat macaroni and cheese. That's poor people food. And she'd say, no, you want to know what poor people eat? And she'd take the kids out to the sliding glass door and make them stand on the patio, close the door, and then she'd go back in and sit down and start eating. And she'd say, that's what poor people eat. Nothing. They watch other people eat. Like,
Dang.
what a great cure, you know? Yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, if you're gonna get for real, you better get for real, you
I want
know.
some macaroni and cheese.
Yeah, I'll take that poor people food.
Put ketchup on it.
Worst punishment my mother ever handed out was I got suspended from school. I say the worst. I mean, you know, it might not have been the worst. It wasn't like, you know, the ass beating of the century where like you don't even remember your own name during the middle of the beating because you just kind of black out for a while. You know, it wasn't like that bad. Although I might have had a few of those, but the one that I remember the most was I got suspended from school, and for the time that I was suspended, that 3 days, I could eat nothing but, she wasn't going to deny me food. I could eat nothing but peanut butter and jellies and milk. I could have as much as I wanted. I could eat, you know, I mean, if I wanted 10 sandwiches, I could have as much as I wanted. But she said that would give me the fruit, the protein, the bread, and the milk. And you know, your average, you know, 14-year-old kid is not going to, you know, develop malnutrition over 3 days of eating peanut butter and jelly. So So she knew that she was within the limits, and then I think like the first night she made like fried chicken, and homemade mashed potatoes and gravy, and homemade rolls. And I had to go in and do the dishes afterwards. I was like that was part of the punishment, right? Like I was in jail. It was like being in prison or something. Like I'm not talking about like 8 to 10, down at Knox, but I'm talking like it was like. I mean, Westville, but it was definitely a punishment. I think other mothers would say, I don't know what to do with my son. He's so hard to manage. And my mothers would say, I don't know what to do first. There's a punishment that I can hand out here that's going to fit. So, she was very creative. Very creative. Yep.
What about you?
Seems effective.
What was the worst punishment you got? I could see your dad coming up with some gnarly stuff.
It wasn't really anything different. I got grounded for like longer periods of time, but other than that, he would just
skin you.
Oh yeah, you just hear the belt tin clanking and fucking get closer to the door, and you're just. Or you hear it, and then me and my brother's bedrooms were next to each other. You'd hear it, and then you just hear whack, and him start screaming, and you're just like. There was. He's getting held up by a wrist.
Right. There's some anxiety that's producing from maybe that was more of the inflicted punishment is that moment of just pure terror where that something bad is coming your way, and you're
getting hit.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely right. The fear of, as far as the reality of, my buddy told me one time that he got caught with a porno magazine. And his parents made him sit there at the dinner table while they ate their meal, and he had to tear off pieces of paper and eat the magazine. that was the punishment. Right. Like I mean, but it's paper. Once again, like we aren't talking about anything severe. We're not,
Sure.
talking about killing the kid or poisoning them with paper. But it was just. Like what a great creative punishment to do. I'm glad that my parents weren't that creative. That it just came down to like an ass beating.
I would feel weird just having it out in front of me. Like, oh,
Amber, I love you.
Yeah. Oh.
There must be something traumatizing about that as well. Like
Hopefully.
Here, you want to look at this Playboy? Hell no. The glossy pages were the hardest to swallow.
Hopefully he kept the pages.
Oh, man. Probably wasn't even a good one. Either.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, that's how it happens. You just get what you get. Back before all these websites and all these girls are doing butt activity.
I know, right?
Jerking off like a pilgrim.
Maybe light a candle.
It really amazes me, the surplus of pornography. I mean, on any given day, a issue of Cosmopolitan magazine that was left in the bathroom by my mother, or
I've done that.
or a J.C. Penney's catalog with the underwear, section. Like let's get back to the original porn. National Geographic. I mean, in the third grade at a Catholic school, you're looking at these like Brazilian boobs or something, or some,
Oh, man.
Mogadishu issue with the tribe,
You might be pushing on some cloth.
So.
For sure. You see some cleavage at the wrong time?
Right.
Good chin 10 over there, Billy.
Right.
And when you're young like that, too, sometimes it just happens. You might be in gym class and...
Gym class wasn't the problem, right? It was math class. It was, you'd be looking over at that girl, and, you'd see her over there. Maybe you could just see, like, through the one button of her shirt that was puckering a little bit, and your little fantasy imagination station kicks in.
Oh, yeah.
Forget PlayStation 3s. We're talking imagination stations
man.
where it's at. And all of a sudden, they're like, could you come up and work this problem on the board? It's like, nope, I really can't. Nope. I'll take the
I thought you
F.
fell asleep.
Yep.
Man, I remember I had a crush on this girl in middle school once in middle school science class, and I had a real good view on her from my seat, and she would always like cross her leg and like hang her flip flop from one of her toes, and like for some reason I was just like,
That's what gets me.
I was like,
Girl.
super cute, and I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
Girl, them jellies you wearing. Shoot.
Where'd you go to high school? At Fort Wayne?
Southside.
Southside?
Yep.
Oh, man.
Outside.
Yep. Southside.
All 4 years?
Yeah, all 4 years. Actually, I went for freshman, sophomore, dropped out of high school, went to work at Famous Recipe on Rudisill. I was making chicken, because you got to have a job if you aren't going to go to school. Yep. And then after about 6-8 months of that, I remember saying to my parents, I think I'd like to try this school thing again. I'm not real crazy about working in a place like this and that being my career. I think that all you see at certain times in your life is I'm going to be here forever. You don't get to see any progress. You don't get to see any change because you know of people that have gone to work somewhere and worked there for 30 years, right? That's what a lot of our parents did. They went to work in the same place for forever. Yeah. And I went back to high school then until the end of I repeated my sophomore class. So I went to my junior year, which was 4 years at Southside, and then I left. Moved to North Carolina and got a GED, And then later, you end up going to like a community college. That's what I did. I went to Ivy Tech, and I thought that was pretty cool because I had a GED. So, of course, at 40 years old, I went and tested out and got into some classes and started doing some college-level classes.
It had to be scary. After 20 years of being out.
It really wasn't bad. I mean,
who's this old guy over here?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I was 40, so it was. I was going to school with kids that were, 18, 19, 20, and I was also going to school with people that were like 30, and so thank God that there was other people in the class that were like 56. Because when I was 40, I was like, yeah, but they're 56.
Yeah.
Now that I'm getting ready to turn 52, I'm like, yeah, but they're 68, okay? They're like 70,
They don't even, I don't think they even call it a GED anymore. It's like high school.
Equivalency.
Yeah, that's what I got mine in 2000.
Diploma. Oh, now it's like a HED. They went from GED to HED.
So now you're not like bottom or.
You're not less than.
Yeah, pretty much.
I kind of look at it like you can use it the other way, right? Yeah. You'd be like, I'm sorry, bro. You're just talking way past my high school GED right now.
Like for me, it was like school wasn't hard. Like it was just like sitting in class and like it just wasn't for me. When I dropped out my junior year.
How interested are you expected to be in stuff you don't care about? Especially if the teachers suck and they're not engaging.
Like when I went and got my equivalency, I didn't have no problem to went in, took it, and that was cool. But so I know, like, trying to put the pieces together now, it's like it wasn't academic-wise for me, so it had to be, like, me sitting in a classroom. Because, I could do the work, but, like, teacher like, do you have your homework? No. I went home and played video games and
ran around outside for 3 hours.
Did some stuff that I'm not going to tell you about.
Yeah, right.
What'd you do?
I did a lot of stuff in school that I wasn't supposed to do.
What's the statute of limitations here in Indiana? It's not what you did, and it's not even what you got caught for. It's what they can prove.
Mm-hmm. I'm kind of interested now.
I would steal prescription pills from one of my family members and take them to school and think I was cool because, stupid. 7 years.
On most civil cases.
That's civil, but criminal we're talking about.
7.
For misdemeanors is 2 years and 5 years for felonies.
Oh, 5 years.
Well, but here's the other thing. Like, you'll hear people talk about, like, oh, I caught a case. What happened, bro? I caught a case. Like, you caught a cold. Like, you were standing next to somebody that was committing a crime and you caught a case. And that's a real problem because, like, go on vacation, come back on probation. You know what I'm saying? But the the real issue is what did you catch a case doing? You know, I was doing something stupid. I was doing something that I shouldn't have been doing.
Of course.
And you know, I always love the question, you know, do you have any felonies? You mean charged or convicted? Because you know that one time I got that pretrial diversion, and so I did actually have to keep them charges, and then another time I got drug court, you know. So although I had to plead guilty to start with, they just waived them things, like they just didn't even happen after I completed that program. So you know, I mean, there's a lot of things that you can do where it may look like, I mean, you know, like let's say you were a drug dealer, maybe you were just entrepreneurial, you know. I mean, like if I was a drug dealer, I would be like, I am too entrepreneurial for this shit, you know. Like I am not digging ditches, I need to go sell something, you know.
Yeah.
And because you could sell all kinds of stuff, right? If you're a good salesman, you're a good businessman, you know.
Of course.
It doesn't matter, it just means that you're, you know.
Just building the resume.
Yeah, exactly.
You ever seen Wolf of Wall Street?
Wolf of Wall Street, yeah.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Good salesman.
I'll tell you, they actually had, I was watching a podcast thing where they had Jordan Belfort, was that his name?
Mm-hmm. Jordan Belfort.
Jordan Belfort. The actual
Belfort,
guy?
yeah, the real guy. And he's talking about this Vegas trip, and you know the all this money that was getting spread around, you know, like $1 million or whatever that they were burning up, and you know they're up $1 million, down $1 million, you know, kind of thing. And they got a bunch of prostitutes, and they ended up in this just crazy, insane kind of party, sex party, drug party, whatever. And he starts explaining in great detail about how awful their behavior was. And I just think, you know, there was like a real crudeness to it, right? It was like really like stuff that you'd be like, ugh, bro, really? Did that really happen? And
Easy to say being on the outside.
Yeah, exactly.
Dressed up like they were, and all that money. And
yeah. I mean, thank God I never got real successful,
especially
right?
in that time period.
Yeah, when cocaine was like,
Dude.
I mean, I even spent, there was some time in 2000 that I spent where my computer keyboard in my office, like I'd have a couple lines of cocaine out on my keyboard underneath it, and I'd be doing lines in my office, and then somebody would come in and I would hurry up and put the keyboard down so they wouldn't see it. And I'd tell my office mate, if he brought some customers in, don't move the keyboard. Whatever you do not move the keyboard. So then, you know, for that half hour, 45 minutes they were closing in the office, I'd be like, come on, man, hurry up and close them. Let's get them in the business office. I need to get back in my office, you know?
Yeah.
So, and that was just like that was like, you know, $1,000, $1,500, $2,000, $6,000, you know, commission checks. And that wasn't that much money. Can you imagine being one of those guys that made like $250,000 commission checks or $500,000? Yeah. I mean, what would you do with all the money? You know, like
The keys and I'm getting the keys.
exactly. I don't think I would have survived it. I really like Celebrity Rehab. You know, I see those guys that have like unlimited resources, unlimited people around them, and they live through it. I'd never live through it. You know, I'd just be another. You know, he OD'd, you know.
There's no way. I mean,
Charlie Sheen did.
'cause I'm one of them guys that's like, I'm doing it till it's gone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's with anything though. That's like with candy. That's just like
Yeah.
a trait that I have is like soda, candy, food. I'm doing it till it's gone.
I finished a 6-pack of donuts the other day, just because I was like, well, that was really good, and there's more. I can experience that again.
6-pack of donut, were they powdered donuts?
Yeah.
You got a problem.
Well,
You got a problem.
that's an hour and 12, guys.
Well, thanks for having me over. I had a great time.
I did too. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good time. Hope you like the food.
The food was excellent. Yeah, well, definitely compliments to the chef. So, a wide range of topics that we covered and talked
Yeah, I
about
don't remember them all.
talk about a lot of stuff, and
Yeah.
and it was fun, and it was just fun hanging out, and I appreciate it.
Thanks for
Yeah.
coming over.
Yeah, man. It was awesome.
Great.
It was awesome.
We'll have you back on.
All right,
Of
sounds
course.
good.
Of
Sounds
course.
good.
Well, everybody tuning in, if you're still here, we appreciate it.
Yeah.
Check us out on Instagram, Twitter. We're not really doing much there right now, but check it out. Give us a follow.
Subscribe and all that good stuff if you want.
Of course.
thanks for coming out, and hopefully we'll see you later this week, next week, sometime Thursday, maybe.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Yep. All right. So,
Thank you.
bye, guys.
Taught me how to do wrong right. Everything inside. But somehow things started to change. Try to get us straight up out of the game. You couldn't see what I saw.